Okay, Daily B 52. Believing in yourself and why the hell did you get involved in the service industry? Hey, this is Brian from Wright732.com and fitin.com, PHITIN.com. I will keep saying it and saying it and saying it until you start spelling fit with a PH instead of an F. So, today, self-belief is the first comment or topic I would like to speak about, because here's the thing. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else in the world believe in you? It's really important that if you're going to be running your own business, that you really do believe in yourself. And this is going to transition into the next thing I want to speak about, which is, why did you get involved in a service business to begin with? I'm stuttering all over the place today. I don't think I have enough coffee just yet, but we're going to power through this. So, believing in yourself. Again, why do you expect anyone in the world to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? You really have to be connected with your strengths, and you have to be operating on those strengths, and you have to embrace these strengths and believe in these strengths. So all the things that you want to achieve, you have to believe you can actually achieve them. These are just fundamental truths of, progressing as a human being. If you don't want to believe in yourself, go with the rest of the people that don't believe and, go be part of the herd. But if you want to be yourself and you want to be, the unique individual that you are, and you want to achieve the level of success that in your mind, you envision, you've got to believe and you've got to operate along those beliefs. So if you say one thing, if you think one thing, but then you don't act on it, it's a problem. Now, if you're taking action and you don't have really foundation for belief in that action, the action is going to be soft. It's going to be ineffective. It's hard enough to create success in this world as it is. Why give yourself the hurdle of operating in a way in which you don't believe, or not taking the time to look deep and figuring out, what your strengths are, connecting with that and believing in them. Everyone around you, I'm not going to say everyone because we all have people that believe in us, but if you don't recognize that and you don't believe what they believe, it's a huge problem. But, if you do look at all the noise, there's a lot of noise around us that would rather us not believe in ourselves, but believe in other people so that we become followers instead of leaders. Well, we do need to have followers so that we can be leaders. If we had all chiefs and no Indians, we'd have a problem here. So I'll probably get called a racist by using this Native American term, but it's an old school thing that I, learned. I don't think it's really that racist. It's just kind of just a way to talk about leadership. So back to the point on which I'm talking about. So if we only have leaders and we have no followers, we really don't have anything. We just have a lot of people trying to be the boss. So we all have to follow something, but we're all going to have to lead at some point too. And if we're going to choose to stand in front of people and lead them, we better believe in what we're talking about. We better believe in our ability to communicate that, to do it, whatever. We have to, again, believe in our strengths and our values. Now, this goes to the next step. So usually when we have this conversation about belief or connecting with the reason why we got involved in a service business, it's because we're at a limbo point, a drop-off point, somewhere where, we kind of dimmed our shine, where something occurred that made us forget why we started. And, when we started, we had belief. So think about it. When you first opened up your business, when you first decided that you wanted to lead, there was a reason for it. You saw a benefit to what you do. Hopefully, if you just saw dollar signs, turn this off, go the fuck away, you're a jerk off. Money is nothing. Service industry is not there to service you personally. The business owner ends up being served by the service industry as a end result. But the process is not about you. The process is all about your customer base. It is about servicing them the best way possible and then creating your income off of that. But if the basic principles of service business is serving. So if you don't have the ability to serve up a good product and provide a tremendous value, don't be surprised if your business is tanking. Now, if you're getting into a martyr mentality where all you're doing is serving, and you're not getting anything for yourself, you're just, you're minimum. Follow this. You are the primary vehicle of everything you do. So if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. So even if you're in like this martyr mentality where I have to take care of all these people, you really do have to still take care of yourself first, because if you break down, you don't have the ability to provide. If you don't allow yourself to operate at max capacity, you're not going to be giving max benefit to your people. So understand, you're not being selfish by taking care of yourself. You're not being selfish by allowing yourself to fulfill your own dreams, to acquire some things and to create security for yourself. These are the things that are going to give you the foundation that now you can go out and you can serve people better. And it's not selfish, it's not bad to profit off of your actions. It's actually a necessity so that you can continue to act. You get that? Got to understand this. If you're in the martyr mentality, you've got to understand that you're really just self-destructive if you're not providing for yourself as well as your membership. You might provide more for your membership than you do for yourself, but at least provide the basics for yourself so that you can have some security and some health and some kind of sanity so that you can continue doing what you do at max capacity at a high level. So back. Okay, so again, if you started a service business, again, there was a spark there. There was something that said, I can do this for this benefit for these people. You've got to go back to that if you're struggling, because that initial idea is going to be the thing that you always have to hammer yourself back to so that you can continue for the long term. If you lose touch with why you started, you're going to fail and it's going to end. So to continue, you have to create continuity from day one all the way through. There's going to be rocky roads where you're going to, feel like you have to go against your principles because you need money or whatever, but you really don't. When you start to, you're on your path and you're making money and things are good, and then you hit a road bump and you're like, wait a minute, I have to go into a customer base that I may not be as comfortable with, or I'm going to have to start doing something different than what my strengths are. Now, see, again, you're veering off and you're watering down your strengths, and you're not living according to your personal principles. You're doing things to make money. You're doing things to expand into areas that may not bring you the same level of satisfaction, which means you're not going to have the same level of success, which means you're not going to operate at max capacity, which means you're not going to be providing the same level of service, which means you're just, going to be offering a watered down version of who you are and what you do, and that doesn't deserve to be successful. So if you want to operate in a way that's going to deserve success, believe in yourself. And I feel that if you believe in yourself, what you believe is going to be what the initial inspiration was also that got you involved in this. So believe in yourself, believe in your inspiration, and create continuity in your business. And take care of yourself along the way so you can operate at a peak level, at a max level, and provide the highest level of service. Narrow your focus down to what is it that you do best? What is it that motivated you to get up early and stay late at some point that you lost along the way because you let money and pressure get in the way? So ignore the short-term dollars to a lot of degrees and understand that you may have to lose today so that you can reconnect and gain tomorrow. Figure out what's the most compelling aspect of what you do and what's closest to your core, and start pitching that and selling that. When I say pitch, it's such a scummy, shitty sales word, but just tell your story and brand yourself for what you really are. Stop lying to your consumer base just to make money, because, again, you fell off your way if that's what you're doing. Go back to the original concept. Go back to the youngest you in business. And you don't have to do business the way you did business then, because I'm sure you've evolved and understood the practice better, but the inspiration has to be the same. So take your knowledge along the way and apply that back to that initial concept, and you're going to be way more successful than you are right now. You don't want to try and spread yourself thin and provide, the biggest, greatest schedule of crap. You want to provide one or two things that you do really, really well and give it in an engaging, successful environment. Because if you create success for your community is going to support you. If you don't create success or you fabricate a sense of success, eventually reality will come through. So again, believe in yourself, because there's no reason for anyone else to believe in you if you don't. So do the things that you believe. Do the things that are based upon your strengths, not your weaknesses. And then reconnect back with the youngest you, the you that was like right before you signed the loan, right before you signed the lease, right before, you really started to go and look at properties to put your business into. Remember that aggressive, hungry, motivated, excited individual, and reconnect with those ideas and plug them in with the experience you've gotten from that point to this point. And trust me, the formula for success in your business, for greater success, for growth, for happiness, for all the things you want, it will be right there. Belief, the initial spark, experience, put it all together today, create a new course of action that is respectful of your past and is inspired by, the things that you had when you were young, and go back to being that young person. It could be 20 years later, but you can be a 24-year-old entrepreneur when you're, 44. You can have the youth and the energy in your thought process. Don't allow yourself to be the old son of a bitch who doesn't want to grow and evolve with the time. Don't be the old guy who hates young people because they're not young anymore. Your body may be getting old, but your mind is only as old as you allow it to be. So I think I've gone on enough today. Believe, initial spark, experience, combine it all together, new path, success. Yay. Later.